Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
You could be driving.
Honda has won more U.S. News & World Report awards than any other brand in the last decade. And now you can add another one to the list, being named the best car brand of 2022. Come get your Honda today at Louisiana's #1 Honda dealer, Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Hello and welcome as we start another week of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your little slice of heaven that we call South Louisiana. Since the last opportunity we had to spend a little time with you at the end of last week. We start today's show talking about Louisiana news and responsibility. It never ceases to amaze me how, after all these many years of freedom and liberty, how many of us don't understand that with every freedom, with every liberty, comes responsibility. It has happened tragically again. Another Louisiana toddler killed playing with a firearm. According to police in Shreveport, around 5:40 p.m. Friday, 3-year-old Michael Thomas Jr. shot in a home on Morningside Drive, taken to LSU Health Hospital, Oshner, and died close to 3 hours later. Police say one child was playing with the gun discharged. One toddler shot in the chest, another in the arm. Reading from BR Proud, the NBC affiliate in Baton Rouge, here's where the responsibility factor comes into play. According to their write-up of the article, Kids Health, which is an organization dedicated to the health of children, suggests some things that you can do to protect your child from being hurt or killed if you keep a gun in your home. Number one, keep the gun unloaded and locked up in a cabinet, safe, gun vault, or storage case. Number two, lock the bullets in a place separate from the gun. Number three, consider using a gun lock. Number four, hide the keys or passcode to the locked storage. Now, I guess I have to understand how some people have a knee-jerk reaction to a tragedy. I get that. But if you are anything at all like me, there is no way on God's green earth I am going to buy a firearm to protect myself, my loved ones, anyone else in my household. And in the middle of someone breaking in to steal my property, assault me, kill a family member, there is no way on God's green earth I'm going to go find the keys or put in the passcode to unlock my firearm. Once I retrieve it from a locked vault, then I have to take the trigger lock off. Got to go to a separate location to get the key for the trigger lock. Then once I get the trigger lock off, I have to go to another separate location, unlock the bullets, and then load the gun. For God's sake, y'all, your whole family's dead by the time you're ready to defend them. Now, that being said, responsibility. If you're going to own a firearm for self-protection, protection of family, property, loved ones, responsibility is the key. In this particular instance, and the article is somewhat confusing, we know for a fact there were 2 3-year-olds in the house. The article intimates there may have been as many as 3, because again, one toddler, 3-year-old, playing with the gun discharges, second toddler shot in the chest, then dies, third toddler shot in the arm. If you have ever in life been around a 3-year-old, you know you can't turn your back for a hot second. Now, that's just one 3-year-old. You're talking about 3 of them in the house, and you're nowhere to be found. Now, conventional wisdom says, number one, you put the firearm somewhere where it cannot be reached by a 3-year-old. Number 2, you keep an eye on these children. You know, it's a sad commentary about our society, how we have no qualms about taking, got to be careful here, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, 2 hours, however long, to make that baby. But once the child gets here, you're nowhere to be found when they're growing up to be sure they don't access an unsecured firearm. Something as simple as responsibility. Those children didn't ask to come here. They did not ask to be brought here. You brought them here. You made them. And you're going to go off and be nowhere to be found, while 2 other 3-year-olds are playing with this child in your home? Somebody needs to face some charges here. Pure and simple. Someone adult needs to face some charges here. At some point, you got to send a message, y'all. And listen, I get it. The community of people that look like me, more victimized than any other in America when it comes to crime. So the propensity to gravitate toward protecting one's self is more pronounced in the community of color than any other. But along with that propensity for self-protection is also responsibility. It ain't that hard to figure out, y'all. It ain't that hard to figure out. And at the end of the day, somebody needs to be held responsible for this, because we have gotten entirely too laxed in that regard. On a separate note, but also speaking of responsibility, thank God for the folk in Florida. Thank God for Florida, man, because if not, we would be at the top of the list. You all well know by now all of the consternation, all of the questions regarding the death of Ronald Green at the hands of Louisiana State Police, and what sort of penalties will be levied once the truth finally comes out. Well, now we find out one of the members on the State Police Commission, this is the group that oversees the employment of state troopers and the group that manages discipline for state troopers when they run afoul of the law. We now find out one of the members of that commission is under internal investigation for corruption. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. New Orleans media is reporting on an NOPD investigation involving this member of the commission, New Orleans Police Captain Sabrina Richardson. They're reporting that an internal investigation regarding Captain Richardson is related to a wider spread probe into participation in paid off-duty police details. She was appointed to this powerful internal state police commission by the governor. Now, I guess with all the things that Governor John Bel Edwards has to see through as the chief executive officer of our state, when you gather resumes, you make phone calls to find out if individuals are qualified to be appointed to whatever the board happens to be. And God knows in Louisiana, we've got more boards and commissions than any other state our size. But if that slips through the cracks and you think, okay, this person is qualified, at what point does the person that's now being investigated have enough responsibility to get on the horn and call the governor and say, hey, Governor John Bell, this is so-and-so, member of so-and-so board or commission, just wanted to give you the heads up. I'm innocent, but I'm being investigated for you fill in the blank here. At which time, you and the governor in that conversation can say, okay, you know, we got all these problems going on with the Ronald Green investigation. This is not a good look. So I'll tell you what, either being responsible, you tell the governor, I'm going to step away from this for a moment until the investigation is complete into my doing. Now, Governor, I'm going to tell you right up front, I'm innocent. But in the interest of transparency, in the interest of a, quote, good look, I'm going to step away until all of this has been adjudicated. Instead, we have yet another reason for the public to doubt the sincerity, the truthfulness, the honesty of those who are charged with investigating the highest ranking law enforcement agency in the state. Suffice it to say, it is not a good look in any way, shape, or form. First break of today's show. It is Tuesday, second segment coming up. And of course, you know what that means. Oh yeah, we got some doozies too. We got some doozies as we come back with this week's edition of Now That's Just Stupid. That's next when we continue the Clarence Bug Show only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing.
You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The Mazda CX-30, named an IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus. Perfect for the journey ahead.
Start your journey in a new Mazda CX-30. Right here at Team Mazda on Airline.
Hi, gang. Clarence Bugs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Bugs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bugs Show. It is, of course, Tuesday, second segment of the show. And if by chance you have just stumbled across the show, you may not be aware that in response to the ever-growing level of stupidity in this country, we've instituted a new segment entitled, "Now That's Just Stupid." You'll notice, however, that it's not the traditional STUPID, as the graphic would have shown you had it come up just now. Instead, what we're talking about is a level of stupid that really requires its own spelling, as in STOO. There we go. PID, as in, now that's just stupid. As an addendum to the very first segment, very first story in this segment. Now that's just stupid / politics make strange bedfellows. I guess when you're dealing with the liberal mindset, you have to understand that these folks on any given day might be completely lucid, might be able to rally around cognitive thought, but the very next day or later that same day, being the liberals that they are, God only knows what might come out of their mouths. Shannon Sharpe, former NFL star, now member of the media, sports media, ironically, the most liberal pretty much of all media out there, made no secret about his disdain for Donald Trump during the Trump years. So after a year and change of this absolute debacle of an administration, the Biden-Harris administration, Shannon Sharpe was asked recently on Twitter, Shannon, do you still hate Trump? His response, quote, I'd rather pay $20 a gallon than have Trump in office. Hope that answers your question. Only the liberal elite. I guess when you have a net worth of $14 million, you don't have a problem paying $20 a gallon for gasoline. But it doesn't stop there. I mean, there's the obvious. People that look like Shannon Sharpe and look like me are hurt the most by inflation and gas prices where they are. This clown, the liberal that he is, turns around and says, well, I wouldn't have a problem if it was 5 times higher than what it is now, just so long as Trump's not in office. So in other words, you're okay with gas being 5 times higher than it is now, decimating the community of people that look like Shannon Sharpe. And of course, as long as Trump's not in office, then apparently you're okay with crime exploding, which it wasn't doing under Trump. You're okay with people of color having the highest unemployment numbers of any ethnic group, even though under Donald J. Trump, black folks enjoyed the lowest unemployment since they've been keeping records on it. Apparently, Shannon Sharpe is okay with 2 million people coming across our border illegally, affecting rent prices, wages, crime, and more in the black community as long as Trump's not in office. You, Shannon Sharpe, have no problem with $20 a gallon gasoline, even though we're now treading lightly on whether or not Joe Biden's going to lead us into World War III. And, of course, there's a whole litany of other things that weren't happening under Donald Trump, a whole litany of things that improved the quality of life in the black community. But this clown says, I'd rather pay $20 a gallon than to have Trump in office. Well, you might need to get out your bubble, bruh, and get out there and talk to black folk. Because once again, leave it to a liberal, leave it to a Democrat, leave it to a progressive to be totally and completely out of touch with everyday people. Maybe, just maybe, that's why this recent Marquette University poll showed support for Joe Biden and the Democrats among black voters since June has dropped 32%. Only 51% of black folks, voters, now say, I like Joe Biden. Nope. The numbers are going to be upside down in just a minute. More black folk would rather have Trump than Biden. Well, with the exception of this clown for ESPN, Shannon Sharp. Speaking of clowns, couldn't have set this up any better. Hillary Clinton, the one that just won't go away. Why don't you just go away, lady? Just go somewhere. Go away. Of course, now, with the numbers tanking for Joe Biden, don't be mistaken, Hillary Clinton sees that door opening just a little bit. Maybe, I almost said it. Maybe Hillary's thinking, I can slip through that little crack and become relevant again and be the savior of the party. So this weekend, she who won't go away, that's her new name, she appears on Meet the Press, weekend talk show, talking about the Democrats' chances in 2022, the midterms. Quote, this was her response to Chuck Todd asking, why are Americans migrating away from the Democrats in record numbers? Her response, quote, I'm not quite sure what the disconnect is between the accomplishments of the administration and this Congress and the understanding of what's been done and the impact it will have on the American public and some of the polling and the ongoing hand-wringing. She went on to say, a lot of speculation is that this trouble for President Biden politically started with the chaotic withdrawal in Afghanistan. I don't think it helped. I think that's obviously the case, particularly with the performance in respect to Ukraine. Remember a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the fact that I can't remember exactly who it was. I want to say Rasmussen, possibly Axios, maybe Ipsos. But they polled 3,000 likely American voters and asked those voters, what has Joe Biden done so far that you agree with? 65% of those responding said nothing. Zero. But Hillary Clinton, for the life of me, I just can't understand where the disconnect is. I mean, we have to do a better job of touting the accomplishments of this administration. The accomplishments? Really, Hillary? The accomplishments? Okay, let's see. Laughing stock of the international community because of the Afghanistan debacle. I wouldn't consider that an accomplishment, but I'm not Hillary. Our southern border completely overrun, a literal invasion. I wouldn't consider that an accomplishment, but I'm not Hillary. Over a dozen major cities in this country reporting all-time record numbers of homicides. I don't consider that an accomplishment, but I'm not Hillary. Inflation, the highest it's been in 40 years. I, like you, don't consider that an accomplishment, but we're not Hillary. Supply chain crisis, Ukraine, just go down the line. But she, for the life of her, can't understand why Americans aren't grasping the accomplishments of the Democrats and the current administration. You know what to tell you everything you need to know? In this article, in this interview, she didn't name one accomplishment. Not a one. You know, typically, if you're going to go this route, you would say, well, look, we've got to do a better job talking about our accomplishments, like when we did this, and when we did that, and when we did this other. She couldn't name one thing. But yet, for the life of her, she cannot understand the disconnect between the current administration and everyday Americans. I'm tempted to say, well, actually, it's both. Number one, that's just Hillary. Number two, that's just stupid. Come midterms, she'll figure it out. Trust me, she'll figure it out. Bottom of the hour break. Speaking of Joe Biden and polling numbers, my people, we might be slow, but we get there eventually. Worst news so far of the Biden-Harris presidency. And guess where it comes from? Here's a hint. That's next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Driver assistance technology comes standard on every Camry model as part of Toyota Safety Sense, setting the standard for safety every time you're on the road, no matter the destination. Save on your Camry today at Team Toyota, I-12 at O'Neill.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, longevity, aside from personal relationships, has a place in society that you can't put a dollar figure on. Most of us have members of our family, co-workers, extended family, whatever, that our relationships are so great that we would want to stick around in this existence as long as possible because those relationships make life special. But there's also something to be said about longevity, and if you're observant in the course of said longevity, you get to see things before they happen. For example, heading into the 2020 election, we conservatives tried with every ounce of our being, based on past experience and what we've watched over the years, particularly as it pertains to Joe Biden, we tried to warn America what would happen. Of course, now, the media can ever accuse them of slacking. They were on their job. They convinced you that nothing in this universe was as important as getting Donald J. Trump out of the White House. If y'all just get out and vote Democrat, and we get this guy out of office, the adults will be back in charge. Things will be so much better, you just won't know what to do with yourself. So here it is. What? A year and 4 months, 3 and change, actually, into this administration. And the newest polls out show 71% of Americans feel our country is headed in the wrong direction. Do you realize how small a span of time it took for everything in this country to go downhill? After, of course, they convinced you that things would be so much better, even though the economy was booming pre-COVID. They convinced you things will be so much better with crime, although now it's exploded to unprecedented levels. They convinced you, did the media and the Democrats, that if we just get Orange Man out of office, we will restore the economy. It's going to take off, well, with the exception of inflation being at the highest it's been in 40 freaking years. And y'all bought that crap. You bought into it hook, line, and sinker. How that working out for you? Been to the gas pump lately? Been to the grocery store lately? Took a look at the southern border lately? Took a look at crime lately? Ukraine, Afghanistan, supply chain crisis, LGBTQ, LMNOP being taught to your children. How's that working out for you? 71% of Americans say, I love my country, but we're heading in the wrong direction. Now, as stunning as those numbers are, I got even better news for you today. Yes, sir. I have even better news for you today. Pin it under the heading, we might be a little slow sometimes, but we get there. The most damning news yet since Joe Biden and Kamala Harris started occupying the White House. You do know, do you not? Joe Biden and Kamala Harris could have never set foot in the White House without the support of the most loyal part of their base, black folks. Without black folk, wasn't going to happen. Now, for just a second, let's put aside the fact that they used you. Let's put aside the fact that after getting your vote, they instituted policies that hurt black folks more than anybody else in America. This is how they pay you back for your loyalty. The community of color is hands down walking away the most victimized group of folks when it comes to crime. And what has happened under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris? Crime has freaking exploded. Black folks, most loyal part of the Democrat base, they're the ones most hurt by inflation because we earn the least. And of course, Gesundheit, of course, they institute policies that leave us with the highest inflation we've had in 40 years. And of course, who gets hurt the most? Black folk. Our borders are being literally overrun with illegal immigrants. And who is going to be hurt the most by this influx of people that should not be here? Ding, ding, ding. We got a winner. The most loyal part of the Democrat base. So fast forward from Election Day to today. A year and change in office. And a new poll is out now. I referenced it earlier on. Marquette University, their law school there, very respected law school, conducted a poll, and it's got some really bad news for Joe Biden and the Democrats. According to this poll, support for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris among black voters has dropped 32 percentage points since Inauguration Day. Normally, a year ago, black voters and their support for the Democrat administration was right around where it normally hovers. Actually, it was a little bit lower. 88% of black voters a year ago supported Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. 88%. That number now, 55. Boy, that didn't take long, did it? That didn't take long at all. Well, contrary to what Democrats / liberals / progressives, contrary to what they think, black folk not as stupid as you play them to be. We're not as stupid as you think we are. We go to the gas pump just like everybody else. We go to the grocery store just like everybody else. We're victimized by crime more so than anybody else. We're concerned about the security of our border, maybe more so than anybody else, because all these folks here illegally affect our bottom line more than any other group of people. So all it took was a year and change. Now, let me say this. I jokingly said, we might be slow, but we get there eventually. This stunning 32% drop in support for Biden and Harris among black folks shows me we're paying attention. Now, before you jump up off the sofa and start fist pumping, that's right, we ain't gonna be fooled again. We see what's going on. Before you get too excited in that regard, we're gonna wait and see what the next round of elections brings. What's the old adage? Fool me once, shame on me. No, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I don't know about you, but I ain't gonna be shamed no more than once, y'all. I am not gonna be shamed any more than once. You can fool me one time, but it shows that black folks are paying attention. Of course, now, again, before you get too excited, well, it's about time your people woke up, Clarence. You don't have to pay attention watching political coverage every single day. All you got to do is pull up at the gas pump. You don't have to watch CNN, then make sure you watch Fox, and then go to ABC, and then go to Citizen Free Press, then go to NBC, and then go to Red State. You don't have to do all that. All you got to do is go to the grocery store. That's all you got to do. All you have to do is do a little bit of digging and look at what's about to happen again at our southern border because of, wait for it, Joe Biden's policies. All you got to do is look around you, and you see it. The result of liberal policies run a freaking muck. 32% drop in support for the Biden-Harris administration from, hands down, the most loyal part of the Democrat base. Love you, my peeps. Y'all waking up. And yeah, I'll grant you, you could be Rip Van Winkle and you'd see this. But the fact of the matter is, prior to now, even though we may have been disgruntled when the pollster would call and say, "Hi, I'm from Ipsos. You may have heard of us. We conduct polls all across the country, and we're wondering if you got a couple of minutes." Well, yeah, why not? I'm not doing anything. Okay, let me ask you about so-and-so. Let me ask you about such and such. Because of our loyalty to the Democrat Party, we would tell you what we think you want to hear. In just over a year, y'all, a drop of 32 percentage points among black people for, wait for it, a Democrat and a woman of color. Oh, happy day. Oh, happy day. Because now you're being an American. You are forsaking being black for being an American. See, long as you black, which is what the Democrats want you to be, all you can think about is things in terms of color. But when you're an American, now you're concerned about what's best for the country. Some of y'all ain't gonna get that till later, but that's okay, as long as at some point you get it. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done. Come back and talk about you can make a difference if you got the backbone to stand up. That's next, when we come back and wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats. The flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremonti's.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final quick segment of today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show. You know, every now and then we run across things, trends in society that leave us feeling helpless. I can't tell you the number of conversations I've had with people where we start talking about whatever social trend, societal trend is going on. And at the end of the conversation, I hear, that's above my pay grade. I can't do anything to change that. And inevitably, I will ask, well, what have you done to try and combat this? Well, I hadn't done anything. I mean, I look at it and, you know, I don't feel like there's much that I can do. The LGBTQ plus LMNOP BVD, BMW, EV, y'all will get that later, has picked up so much momentum that many people are of the opinion there's not a whole lot that I can do. Well, I beg to differ. And here's an example. You're all familiar with the NC2A allowing a dude to swim against biological females and rack up all sorts of victories and titles and championships, et cetera, et cetera. Well, Zach Bridges, who now goes by the name Emily, is a cyclist. And in a victory for a female cyclist, after threatening in mass, if y'all let this dude, who now goes by the name Emily, ride against us, all of us are going to boycott the event. Not a single one. Emily will be the only person in the race. So, after standing by the decision, Union Cycliste Internationale, I said cycliste because they spell it C-Y-C-L-I-S-T-E, the world governing body for international competitive cycling, decided, you know what, bruh, you can't race. Every single woman in the race has said, we're going to boycott it. Dude is going to be the only one racing. So the organization was forced. Their hand was forced. You see what happens when you stand for what's right? You may think you're that lone voice crying in the wilderness. Stand for something or fall for anything. And you'd be amazed when you decide to stand, how many others will stand with you. But if you just succumb, roll over, play dead, then you deserve what you get. Tip of the hat to these ladies for grabbing that bull by the horns and showing these clowns what time it is in the real world. Just saying. My time's up, y'all, and I gotta go. But once again, you already know the drill. This day, maybe more so than any other in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we ain't perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Then again, it really doesn't matter because there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. We'll see you tomorrow. God bless.